everyone, happy tea time. It's Wednesday. I'm going to be uploading this late because we had to get Mila to the veterinarian. Yeah, so we'll be talking a little bit about that. This is a big 10-15 minute video. Lots going to be going on, so we'll try to cover everything. But before we get started, I'm going to show you my tea. The tea today is decaf PG Tips with a little bit of low-fat milk and some coconut sugar. Gonna take my sip. Yummy, yum, yum, yum. So today we're running a little late because I had patients and then I had to run home to get Mila to the veterinarian. Of course, she freaked out, broke out of her carry-on. I don't know how she did that. Just as I was getting into the Uber, leaped nearly into the traffic, ran around, I caught her. The driver drove away, got her back in the box, caught another Uber, and arrived early for her appointment. How's that? She had blood in her urine. They think she has a stone, and they think the stress of the move, anxiety in cats can sometimes cause stones. She also got her annual vaccines, had her ears checked, got dewormed, all that fun stuff. So that's what's going on with Mila. They think it's no big deal because she seems happy and healthy and she's running around like like usual. That's the Mila story. So today's tea time is an interesting conversation, and it's a conversation that I've been wanting to develop into more specific protocols and activities, and that is the conversation about stress, anxiety, and isolation, loneliness, and its impact on health in the United States. The reason why I want to have this conversation with you, my fellow Broke Aristocrats, is because America is facing an epidemic of suicides. I know we just lost Anthony Bourdain. I'm sure you all, excuse me, I'm sure you all loved Anthony Bourdain as much as I did. He really seemed to be somebody who was living our dream life, certainly my dream life, traveling all over the world, meeting amazing people, and eating amazing food. That certainly sounds a lot like my fantasy world. But people live private lives, and things can be going on in their lives that we don't understand, whether it's physically extreme chronic pain, depression, anxiety, isolation, mental illness. We don't know. And so these things can happen. Here is what we do know for sure as doctors, particularly those of us that are active in preventative medicine and alternative healthcare. We know that stress is a leading cause of chronic disease in the United States. Stress and loneliness is also a major factor. So what happens when we see people who are in a chronic state, experience chronic stress and loneliness and isolation? Well, we see increased risk for coronary artery disease, increased risk for stroke, increased risk for depression, increased risk for abusing drugs and alcohol, and we see increased risk for suicide, particularly if the person is suffering from feelings of isolation and loneliness. And I believe now suicide ranks as the 8th leading cause of death in the United States. So if you are like me and you are a Broke Aristocrat and you care about humanity, as we Broke Aristocrats are known to do, then you want to do something to not only keep yourself healthy and happy, but to help make the world a better place. And you want to do it in a way that's in keeping with the values and principles that we espouse here at Broke Aristocrats. And so the second half of this video is me making an inexpensive meal. I decided to do turkey bolognese. Now, what does that have to do with feelings of isolation and stress, etc., etc., etc.? It has to do with the fact that we at Broke Aristocrats have the skills to help de-stress people. We have the skills to help distressed people if they're living beyond their means or trying to be something that they are not. We here at Broke Aristocrats learn the skills and then we share them with the rest of the world. The other thing we know here at Broke Aristocrats is how to make a frugal meal and share it. And that gets to the issue of loneliness and isolation. If we can share a meal with someone else and create community, that goes a long way in terms of alleviating suffering, stress, isolation, and loneliness. And that's something I thought about particularly after Anthony Bourdain's passing, the idea of sharing a meal and the power of sharing a meal with someone. And so I want to encourage people to consider starting communal meal programs. Communal meal programs and activities. You can start them through Meetup. You want to call it Broke Aristocrats communal meals. That's absolutely fine. I'm certainly going to be calling mine Broke Aristocrats here in Los Angeles. And here's what you do. You create a communal get-together where people get together. They talk about frugal living, minimalism, how to live the good life, how to budget and live simply. We help and support each other as Broke Aristocrats, and then we feed one another. They can be potluck style. The only other rule I would ask is that the food be nutrient dense if you are going to use the Broke Aristocrats title. Meals can be vegan, plant-based, vegetarian, or 80% plant-based, 20% animal protein. The idea, though, is that you really want the food to be nutrient dense because we are feeding people's bodies, not just their souls. I really hope people will start to consider maybe even starting your own group, but please consider starting a communal kitchen or a communal program in your area where you can start to meet up with a group, share a potluck, whether it's once a month or twice a week, and just have community and maybe talk about finances. You can share a meal and then you can talk about helping people get out of debt and live the good life. So that is the first part of this video. If you'd like to find out more about it, you can private message me at office@drwhimsy.com. Or you can send me a letter at my offices here in Los Angeles. Now I'm going to turn the camera around and you're going to see a frugal meal that runs about $1.25 per person, give or take. And that is turkey bolognese. And the reason it's a little more expensive than under $1 is because several of the ingredients are organic. So we're going to go ahead and turn the camera around and I'm going to show you how I make Broke Aristocrats turkey bolognese. Okay, like I said, you can definitely get the cost down, but I decided to go organic with some of this stuff. I got the tomatoes from Ralph's. They are organic. I think it was $1.49 and this was 99 cents. I'm going to use half of this to one of those. So we're talking $2 here. This is the dark meat turkey organic. It was I think it was $7.49. I'm going to use half of that. So we'll say we'll say $4. And so 4, 5, 6, and then some noodles. These noodles, I think ran me a couple bucks. We'll do half of those. So that's $1, and I'm going to use half of an onion. All total, we're going to be getting about 4 to 6 servings, and you know where my spices are coming from, right, my fellow Broke Aristocrats? From my new herb garden. I've moved it out of the sun because the sun was harming my herbs, but now I have herbs forever. I invested $3 in each plant. They're going to be replanted in my the front yard area of my apartment, and this is the good life, right? So now I have my rosemary, I have my sage. I'm going to be using the oregano oil. I'm going to also be using a couple pinches of garlic, pepper and salt, and that's it. Alright, so I'm just starting the hamburger, and I'm going to add half an onion chopped up with turn this down with my spices. That is really high. Okay. I'm happy to do vegan and vegetarian meals for people. I'm very comfortable cooking vegetarian and vegan food. I certainly know how to. It's just that this particular dish is going to be, a little bit of animal protein. The other thing I like about this dish is that your family is going to feel like they got some animal protein. Those that are anti-vegetarianism, but you're able to reduce the amount and replace it with vegetables. The other thing you can do when you're doing a turkey bolognese or something like that is you can add some mixed veggies to it, which is what I'm going to do right now, just to stretch, again, the animal product. Because even though this is a lean animal product, it's still animal product, and it's associated with increased risk for coronary artery disease. So I think I will add a little bit of vegetables to it. So to stretch the meat and to add more of a nutrient-dense vegetable base, I'm adding some mixed veggies. These are steamable mixed vegetables. You can get something similar at Trader Joe's. And you can, say you're only using half a pound of meat or turkey, you can replace the other half with mixed vegetables in order to reduce the amount of animal product in the dish. So that I've just added also the can of the chopped tomatoes. I'll add a little bit of water, and then I'll add half a can of paste, and then I will slow cook this on stove top in my Dutch oven while I go about my business. And then this is a slow cook technique. You can start this first thing in the morning while you're cleaning your home. If you're working outside of the home, this is probably a dish you're going to want to do on a day off. If you do like to do the slow cook method as much as I do. I'm going to go ahead and add my tomato paste. I've also added a little bit of pepper and salt, and I will add some garlic powder as well. Okay, so I've added the garlic powder and the tomato paste. I used about a half of the can. I'm going to pour in some water now. I think I poured in, this might need a whole cup worth of water now that I'm looking at it. Maybe even more. It's really up to you how much you want to add. You want to have it be watery because you're going to be slow cooking this. Anyway, that is the base of my turkey spaghetti bolognese. As you can see, it's nutrient dense because I've added vegetables. Slow cook it. You're also able to spread the meat. You have another, now you got 2 meals for a family of 4 to 6 from 1 pound of turkey meat. And this was organic. I checked the price on the inorganic, and I think it ran under $5, but just check with your local store. So that would be $2.50 to $3 if we're being generous on the inorganic for a family of 4 for per meal. So this meal will probably realistically run you, if we're going to be realistic, we'll say $1.25 to $1.50. I'm rounding up, and who wants to have spaghetti that somebody else made when it's slow cooked and it's made from home and it's this delicious? All right. Okay, so that was a turkey bolognese with some mixed vegetables. Like I said, you can get some great mixed vegetables at Trader Joe's. They've got a great mixed vegetable medley. Make sure to get the one without butter. It's a great way of stretching the meat and increasing fiber consumption, and also consumption of vitamins and nutrition. And I love the fact that you can kind of set it and forget it. I did it with my Dutch oven, so that's really great. And of course, the last thing I want to do is to give a shout out to all the other frugal channels. sensible living money mom. Gail, please subscribe to her channel if you haven't already. She's amazing, and she supported me when I first started out. And I would also ask her to consider having communal meals and frugal meetups in her home, because she is such a people person, and I just know that there are lonely, frustrated, and people in debt, people who are in isolation, people who don't have friends, people who are feeling alone. We are not just creating community when we create these frugal meetups and meal gatherings. We're saving lives, and so please consider starting one in your area. Also, if you haven't checked out the Frugans, I believe that's what they call them, the channel that's called Financial Freedom for Real People, I believe that's what it's called. It's a great channel that I've really gotten into, and they do dumpster diving, and they show you all the great things that they have found, and keep it on a budget. And they would be great for hosting communal meals and freegan meals, and helping people who are in financial difficult straits and who are feeling lonely. So I hope that they also will consider starting communal programs. If you're trying to find out more about doing that, I think meetups is a great way of getting it started, but you can also post at your local health food store. That's another great way to meet like-minded people. All right, I want to thank you for watching this tea time, this Broke Aristocrats. Be sure and share, like, subscribe, and tell me what you're doing to take care of yourself without breaking the bank, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.